Hey, good morning, guys. Todd Liles here, Service Excellence Training. And I got a conversation point that I want to visit with you live from the porch. Just grabbing my coffee here. And going to talk about the 5 traps of a service manager. Ooh, here we go. And not really even just the 5 traps of a service manager, but really it's the 5 traps of anyone that's put inside of a leadership position. And there's a couple things that got me thinking about that. And one of the things that got me thinking about that was just some inefficiencies. Watching people struggle with some inefficiencies when it comes to business. And I think that there are some fixes for you. I think they're fairly easy. And I want to make sure that you don't struggle with some of these inefficiencies. I want to make sure if you're sitting in a position of leadership, if you're a manager or if you're an owner, that you don't find yourself getting caught up into these dangerous traps that can prevent you from having your best success. So that's what we're going to talk about this morning, are the 5 traps of a service manager, but specifically anyone in leadership. All right, so here's trap number 1, and I'm curious if you've ever fallen victim to this trap. Trap number 1 is that you decide that you're going to be the superhero. Trap number 1 is you decide you're going to be the superhero. And in case you're wondering what I mean by that, there is a tendency in managers as well as in small business owners to want to try to be absolutely everything. They want to be the superhero. They want to be the guy that when a technician has a little bit of a struggle, they fly in. Whether that is like literally they get in their car and they drop it into overdrive or their service vehicle and they show up on the spot to save the day. Don't worry, technician, I can fix this. It's kind of the move, get out of the way and let me handle this crisis mode. Now, there is a big problem if you're a service manager and you're trying to be the superhero. And the big problem is the following. 1, you'll never be able to grow a real business always trying to be the superhero, because you are limited as a leader, as a service manager. You are very limited. You don't have an abundant amount of time to always be there and to always be available. That's going to cause you problems. Number 2 is that your technicians should be the people that are being the hero in the eyes of the client. Your technicians, let me say that again, should be the heroes in the eyes of the client. And if you as a service manager come onto the scene and your thought process is I'm going to save the day, you're actually in a way belittling your technician because you're not providing them with what they need to be successful. Think of yourself as Charles Xavier of the X-Men, not Wolverine. Think of yourself as Charles Xavier of the X-Men, not Wolverine. And then I just keep going back to the idea that you just don't have the time to do it all. So trap number 1 of a service manager is trying to be the superhero. Don't make that mistake. Woo! The wind decided it was going to blow. Goodness gravy potatoes. How about we take this inside, guys? You know what? Hang on. You're going to travel with me. You're going to travel with me. Because the wind's blowing and it's noisy in there, and I don't like that. So hang on a second here, folks. Don't go nowhere. I got some great other points. I just need to get some lights on. By the way, Monty, what's going on? Chris, how are you, sir? Will, what's happening? Jason, good morning to you. It is actually live. This isn't pre-recorded. Hang on, we'll grab my coffee because it's early and I need it. Oh, man, if you're here, give me a shout out. Say what's up. Here we go. Going back inside. All right. Now I'm inside the house. I won't have to deal with all that wind. Although I do like the porch. It's just a little bit windy this morning. All right, so just fast review. You decide to be the superhero. That's your biggest problem. Let's go to the trap of service managers, part number 2. Monty, I don't even know what thunder snow is, but I'm assuming it's when it's snowing and it's thundering. I guess that's thunder snow. We don't have thunder snow in Texas. It would be pretty cool. Here's trap number 2 if you're sitting in the service manager position. By the way, this is just one small segment of what we teach in our service manager program if you're ever interested in coming. But trap number 2 is related to number 1, which is you turn your technicians into mindless zombies. By the way, technician, no insult to you. That there's no insult in my statement to that, but there is a lot of truth. Let me show you. If you want to ever check out the article, stop zombifying your techs. And in essence, what I mean by that is that when you're always trying to jump in, you're always trying to be the hero to your techs, and you're not giving them what they need in terms of proper training, then what that means is that you're zombifying them. You're telling them to lean on you to be the brains of the service call, and that's a big mistake. You can't do that, service managers. You have to give your service techs what they need. By the way, if you're a manager and you agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you're a technician and you agree with that, give me a thumbs up. Show me that you agree. All right, here comes number 3. Now, guys, number 3 is going to be a little controversial. And it might not be what you think I'm going to say it is either, all right? Technicians, you might not like this next part. I'm sorry if you don't. But number 3 is that you make your technician a slave to your business. And that's not good. I'm going to share with you what I mean by that. I once worked with a guy named John, and I won't tell you his last name. He's a good guy. But John desperately wanted a motorcycle. He desperately wanted a motorcycle. And John couldn't afford a motorcycle himself. But the guy that owned the company that we worked for had an extra motorcycle. So what he did was he essentially sold it to John under the guise of like an employee loan. And now John had to pay the motorcycle back through the company, which was essentially going to the owner. Now you might think, well, that sounds like a good deal, right? But no, actually it wasn't, because it created some weird tension between John and the company, because John felt like he was doing everything that he should be doing, and why was the owner essentially charging him for a motorcycle? Because there was some weird disconnect in the brain that said the motorcycle should have been given to him since he had an extra one laying around. Now, I've seen that firsthand, and even though I can't fully explain the psychology behind it, I can tell you it's not a good thing. What I have seen more of would be well-meaning service managers going to bat for technicians and getting them a loan for something that they need. And it creates the same psychological effect. Guys, techs, forgive me if you've had to borrow one of those loans. And I'm not talking tool accounts. Tool accounts are something a little different. But I'm talking about borrowing money for your personal application. Service managers, business owners, and techs, listen up. Don't do that. If you need extra money, then what I would say would be 2 things. Number 1, get on a system that rewards your performance. Get on a system that rewards your performance, which means you can get that extra money by not just leveraging your time, as in I'm going to work more hours, I'm going to get more dollars, but leveraging your skill set. That's important. Everyone deserves and should be on a system that says when your skill sets go up, so does your pay. That's important. And then the other thing is just maybe get on a little bit of a budget. Again, no judgment here, guys, but what I'd share with you is I've been a technician and I've struggled with pay in the early days when I was learning, and it wasn't the more money that initially saved me. It was the clear, hard lines of a budget. So guys, look, here's the thing. You're not actually doing your technicians a favor by loaning them money. And that's enough. I'm going to move off that. What's up, John? Good morning to you. Again, these lessons are just a small component of what we teach in our service management program. If you've never been, I recommend you check it out. There's no links right now in here, but I'll drop one in before too long. Number 4, as a service manager, here's another trap. And this could also be the same thing with a leader or an owner. And it's that you decide that you're going to be the accountant, you're going to be the marketing guru, you're going to be whatever the company needs. You're going to do it all. That is a massive, massive mistake, service manager. Okay, so this is a question for everyone that's watching the video, and I want you to type in just a one-word answer, which is either yes or it's either no. And my question to everyone that's watching this is, do you have a super clear, defined task list of job priorities? In other words, do you know exactly what are the things that you should be doing as a service manager, as an owner, as a technician? Is it abundantly clear what your job responsibilities should be? You can communicate them to anyone, yes or no, okay? I want to see some feedback. Yes or no, do you have abundantly clear job description, job priorities, and you know exactly what they are? You should. You absolutely should. If you don't, it's going to cause some challenges for you. Question number 2 to this. Oh, no. That's not good, Jesse. Jesse, what position are you in, sir? Are you a service manager? Chris says no. Also not good. Monty says yes. Good job, Monty. Chris and Jesse, we're going to get you worked out here. We're going to help you out. So we got some answers coming in. All right? So you need to have a super clear, abundantly defined job description. And if I'm in a technician's position, for the sake of example, right, I think I can probably label, John says yes, I can probably label those things to 5 or less categories. Now, that doesn't mean there's not a lot that goes into those 5 or less categories, but I'm going to go with number 1. Number 1 is to be able to make the absolute best recommendation to the homeowner for their situation. And in my brain, what that means is it means that I am an amazing diagnostic technician, and I'm not at all going to worry about anything other than the diagnostic standpoint. So if you want to look at like number 1, give the best technical advice, that means amazing diagnostic technician. If I go to part number 2, then that means I'm going to be a little bit of a person that evaluates longevity and is not only giving them what they need to do from a technical standpoint, but I'm also going to realize how that compares to the life of the system and if it's a good recommendation to put money into repairing. So if you want to say it another way, you need to have a strong skill set of repair versus replace. Technically amazing, which means you can make the repairs. You got to have a strong skill set of repair versus replace so you can make the right recommendations. You've got to have customer service that is off the charts. Clients have got to love you. They got to love your approach. They got to love your style. They got to love the way that you present yourself. And then beyond that, there are a couple other hats, and they're important hats. We got to be able to be profitable. We got to produce revenue for our company, and that's true. We have to, whether that's from average tickets or whether that's from lead replacements that are legit. We got to be able to produce revenue, and we got to be able to hang on to clients. Many ways to do that. Some of them are tactical ways like club memberships, but we got to be able to do those things. So if I'm a technician, I can kind of label those 5 things. If I'm a service manager, guess what? It's not much more complicated than support the technician in those 5 areas. Sure, there are things you got to do like run reports and whatnot to know if you're supporting them, but essentially, that's what you're doing. You're supporting them. All right, here's the last trap. Here's trap number 5. Trap number 5, the prison number 5 of the service manager, but really not even just the service manager, anyone that's in a position of leadership or leading people or themselves to change, which is you become mentally convinced that the situation that you're in cannot change. It is the worst trap that you can put yourself into, which is where you become convinced that the situation that you're in cannot change. And that trap can hit absolutely anyone. And when you get caught in that trap, it's very bad, because what the idea of you can't change does is it removes hope. And if you remove hope, man, all sort of bad things set in, like depression, anxiety, negativity. It's very, very bad. And sometimes we do this to ourselves. We make statements to ourselves like, doesn't matter what I do, I can't change it. It doesn't matter what I do, I can't change myself, or I can't change someone else. It's a very bad thing. Guys, I'm not going to share the name, but this happened last week at our church of all places, where a very respected person in the church, very wealthy, extremely wealthy, took his own life. And, you know, from an outside perspective, this guy's always happy. This guy's always positive. And I don't have the details. I'm not seeking those details, but the essence from what's been shared with me is that this person felt like they got into a scenario that they were trapped in, that they couldn't escape from. And then the only escape was in a very extreme one. Now that's terrible, and I hope that doesn't happen to anyone. But the same end result is what happens when you ultimately feel like you're trapped and you've got no way out. Or you feel like you've got no ability to make change. You lose hope. And when hope's gone, terrible things begin to happen. It's not a good thing. All right, so here's the gig, right, guys? 5 traps of a service manager. I laid them out here for you. If I go in reverse order, you've made a prison that you believe you can't escape from, number 5. Number 4, you decided to be too many things. You decided to be an accountant, a marketing guru, whatever it is that you needed to be. You wore too many hats and you lost your focus. Number 3, you made your technicians a slave to the business through something that you thought was good-natured, but actually it wasn't. I mean, it was, but it didn't do what you wanted it to do. Number 2, you didn't train up your technician through service, through technical ability, so you removed their ability to think on the spot. And number 1, you made the problem worse because you always rush in trying to be the hero to save the day. And it's not bueno. It's not good. All right, so guys, there are the 5 traps of a service manager. What'd you think about that? Good stuff? I hope you think it's good stuff. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hang on for just a moment. Let me kind of angle my phone here. All right, I'm going to hang on for just a few moments. I want to give you shout outs. I want to answer a question or two. And then, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an amazing, amazing weekend, and I hope you do too. So if you've got a question about any problem, maybe you faced a problem. Tanner, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. You know, I love doing this, Tanner. I appreciate the shout outs, Tanner. If you've got a question you want to have it answered live, I would be happy to do that for you now. I'll give you a live answer. I'll see if I can assist you. If you're curious about what we're doing in the classroom, of course, I'm going to tell you all about that because we love teaching people. It's our passion. We love helping folks. Jesse, thank you, man. Appreciate you hanging in there. Matthew, I just got on. Can you please recite the 5 issues again? Matthew, I'll tell you what, buddy. This is going to be posted. And it's a great presentation. It's about 10 minutes long, and I go into a deep dive on all 5 issues. So you can go back and you can absolutely watch it. So you'll check them out, man, and I think you'll really dig it. Michael, this was great, man. I really appreciate it. You know, I mean, I just do this from the house, sometimes from the back porch if it's not, the wind's not blowing. I hop on here and go, okay, guys, let's go. Let's help you out today. Let's see what we got going on. How can we be of an assistance to you? And it's what I love doing. Hey guys, look, I'm going to post a link to our programs. I'm about to do that right now. I'm just going to write the word classes. And we've got a class coming up in 2 weeks. We've got our technician program. I think there's like 2 seats left in it. We've got our sales program. I think as of right now, there are 4 or 5 seats left in that. There's the link to the classes, by the way. Good morning to you. Who said good morning? I just saw good morning. Calvin, my old man Calvin. By the way, guys, Calvin Frank was one of the guys that I worked with at my old company, Drain and Air Rescue in Austin, Texas. Great guy, great personality. Man, Calvin, if I ever start another air conditioning company, I'll be calling you, man. I'd hire you in an absolute heartbeat. What an outstanding individual he is, guys. Thank you for being on here, Calvin. Calvin, let me ask you. You say whatever you want, buddy. How was I as a service manager back in the day? Service manager slash GM slash making these same mistakes, wearing too many hats, right? But but if you're still on here, how did I do? Did I do okay? I hope I did okay. All right. So going back to you guys, I posted a link. There are a few left in the sales class. I think there's like 5 or 6. And in the management class, I think that we're sitting at like 5 to 6 open spots for that as well. So it's 2 weeks away. You still got time to be part of that. Calvin said I did great. Oh man, you're nice. I appreciate that. Hey Calvin, do you remember getting barbecue at that little trailer that was like halfway up a hill in Lakeway? I don't remember the name of that trailer. I remember that place was good. I think you, I, and Chris ate there, which was nice. By the way, Calvin, I appreciate you being on here too, because you were evidence of my Austin contracting days. It's been about almost 8 years, maybe 8 years. Because it's about the same time that my daughter was born that I started this. Still feel like I'm in contract because I work with you guys every single day, but it's been a while since I slapped the tool belt on, that's for sure. Christopher, excited to see you guys in Des Moines this coming week. Sweet, buddy. We're excited about it too, man. We're traveling all over the place. We don't. You guys don't always see all of our guys on here, but we have a team that's growing. And to put it into perspective, as of right now, there are 10 of us, and James Walker is our newest addition. What a superstar he is! And we have plans to hire number 11 in Q3, so we can help you and your company in a bunch of ways, not just free like this, although we're happy to do it. We can do it in the classroom. We can do it on site where we come to you. All sort of ways to make that happen. Christopher, I won't be there, but you will have Chris Loudermilk and you will have Chris Elmore there, and I can tell you they're pumped about it as well. All right, guys. Thank you so much for checking it out. I'm also going to drop a link to the 5 Traps article. So if you want to go out and you want to read the 5 Traps article, I'm going to put that in here as well. You can read that. Again, it's just a small excerpt from what we do in the class. But you guys seem to really dig this, so here you go. And that's it. I'm going to say thank you. Do me a favor, if you would please hit the like button, share this to groups, share it with friends, tag a friend. You help us so much by spreading the word. Billy, shout out to you, Billy. Brandon is all about him, some Billy Bostic. He thinks you are amazing, Billy, just so you know. But I'm about to shut this down, guys. Go out there, turn learning into earning. Have an amazing weekend. Get some rest. And help our company as we help you by sharing the good stuff. All right, that's it. You guys know what to do. Go turn learning into earning.